So yeah, out in the woods, but I thought we would talk about money, the getting of money and wealth. Um, it's quite a subject. Um, there's a lot of things that come into play. You definitely need instinctive intelligence. You can develop that. You'll find that the more you've been to school and say university, the less instinctive intelligence you've got. Because remember, the education system is programming. It programs you to be basically a slave, although you're paid, But it's not really, is it? I mean, when you're in jobs, even quite good jobs, most people you see are stretched. So really, the job system, even with good jobs, tends to keep you under the thrall of the system. So essentially, to get into the money mindset, you've got to get out of that thrall. Um, and that's why quite a lot of very wealthy people, they talk about their education. Yeah, sure, some of them went through the university system, others went into it, but they dropped out. And that's telling in itself. You've almost got to be like a free mind. So there's a huge amount of programming going on anyway. So the more realistic you are about everything around you, look at everything with a critical gaze. I don't mean having a go at it. I mean looking at it analytically. What is the reality behind that? Always go with reality. And to get into that money mindset, there are things you can certainly do. There's a whole big picture of what you do to attain money and wealth. Nothing is actually set in stone. I think I'm always using the word amorphous. You've got to be ready at all times. It's almost like, you've really got to develop the mindset more than anything, so you're ready to jump on things, to experiment, to never cling to something if it's not working. But the other things one would do, we can talk about visualization, and that's a big part of getting in the money mindset and drawing money to you. But it's not enough. There's more to visualization than most of the kind of books like The Secret, and even the great Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, even than him. But then again, he's probably the best. It goes back to the late 1930s, Napoleon Hill. Probably the best because he did have a rebellious spirit, and that is really important. But with visualization, it's yes, most people and books would say, visualize yourself wealthy as though it's happening now. Imagine, loads of money, counting the cash or looking at your PayPal or bank balance in your imagination. And actually, that will help motivate you, certainly. But there's a lot more to it than that, the sort of inner circle stuff. It's like, with your visualizing, actually, you would do it. You'd go into a kind of visionary trance. You would do it with the intention, you would just know that you're going to perform this stuff with view to money and wealth. But it kind of ends there. Once you've got that, you really need to go into trance, visionary trance, visual and totally relaxed. We can go into that in other things, how to completely and utterly relax, how to enter trance states. But essentially, you need to go in with the intention, definitely. But then when you're doing it, don't try and control it. So if weird stuff happens, things that are just completely and utterly unrelated to money, that's fine. You just take it as it is. Don't try and analyze it. And same with dreams. Don't try and analyze them. Dreams are dreams. That's the thing you need to get into, is that everything is a thing in itself. A dream is a dream. When you're there dreaming, it's great or bad or whatever, it's a nightmare. But don't try and read meaning. Things are what they are. So when you do a visualization for wealth, money, Yeah, just go into that and let things happen. Let the flow come, and don't try and analyze it. You see, because our mind body system is beyond complex, quite honestly. Nothing is as it seems. Whatever psychologists and scientists say, they're doing the best to nuts and bolts it. And I don't think that'll ever really happen. I think that when the day comes that scientists sort of go with what I'm saying, it's going to be a lot better. I guess we need some of that, but honestly, yeah, let the flow come. And so whatever, it might be completely unrelated. You might go into, and your visualization ends up going round a museum or something. You're looking at old bones of, dinosaurs or something. You think, well, whatever has this got to do with it? But don't worry, because the more surreal and unusual it is, you're getting there. This is the thing that people don't get. They get fierce on visualizing. It's like money, piles of it, up to here, gold blocks, and yeah, the motivation. So they get up in the morning and they will get straight to it. So that's good, because you do need to. But honestly, it's a lot more. The more you allow the surrealness of it to happen with that intention, and don't even try to analyze, because that kind of like sets things in stone. And this kind of magic I know a lot of magic is so set in stone, witchcraft, it's do this, do that, and they are just like Bill Gates, who wants to control everything. And, everyone's like that. I mean, I have to work to resist it. But, but it's people like Bill Gates, you can see what I'm getting at there, can't you? But he's so fiercely order, control everything, give someone a vaccine, that will work, and it's like a belief, like a crazy religion, but scientism. And may well be killing people, but that's another subject. But I call him Kill Gates just for good measure, But so even witchcraft and all the people that do that, they're the same, but they're not rich, They're not like Gates, but they're trying to order and control everything, and that will defeat the object. And you've got to go with the strange thing that we are in this holographic universe, which we have kind of created. And that's, of course, another subject, quantum physics. But it should have bearing, quite honestly. So when you're doing this sort of thing, the more surreal it is. So when you're going into a visionary trance visualization, the more, that's good. Just let it be. Don't try and analyze it, because, it's like analysing dreams. Don't do it. So with this, you might think, well, whatever did that have to do with making money? Just don't worry about that, because I guarantee the next day, during the week, you'll get some synchronicity, coincidence happen that I think, that's interesting. And, it might be something that leads you on the money trail, because even that's not set in stone, it's the way you've got to have that focus. And, the more amorphous it is, you will just land on something. And when you land on something that works, that's your pot of gold. You've got to stick with it. And but the secret is very much, it's just not what most of these books like The Secret, I mean, I'm not denigrating it, because there's a lot of good, nice positivity and motivation in there. Napoleon Hill was absolutely brilliant. Claude Bristol, these are all the old school that The Secret came from. And yeah, I mean, they're absolutely brilliant. But I still think, as we discover more, like quantum physicists, basically, of some of them come up with the holographic universe theory, where it's all kind of a simulacrum, where we have created this sort of thing that isn't really there. Like an orange fruit is not orange. We, as our brains are processing, sensory eyes and brain, and rainbows don't really exist. We make them. So there's such a lot, if all of it's made, then it stands to reason that we're the creator, of our reality. But and where you could think, oh well, great, yeah, I'll be richer than Elon Musk then. It's easy. You see, where the complexity lies is You know, the old ancient Indian story of Indra's net, where everything is connected. I'll have to go into that in a separate video, but everything connected. So that means you're connected to everyone, you know, all these trees, you know, around me, to everyone, people, ants, bees. Bees are very important. Lose the bees, we're all dead. So this connectivity, where everything's connected, it's very hard to take that. And I know a lot of people say, oh, we're all connected, you know, a bit new age, and you know, it's kind of like a platitude really when they say it. But when you take that fully in, that means that the complexity of it is enormous. So for you to get in the kind of money realm and the money mindset and all that, then there's a whole lot of other stuff going on around you. This weave of chaos, as in chaos mathematics theory. You know, so, and that is why I talk about visualization, let it happen. Don't analyze, you know, so, you know, don't do the fierceness. You need the intention. You need to know where you want to go in life. But because of this complexity, that's why the processes to get to wealth and whatnot need to be to fit that, you know. So it's a lot more surreal. It's like, doesn't make sense, but then that leads to synchronicities, and you're more likely to get into that connected web in a holistic way, in a way that works. And you know, and probably most of you watching this would probably be, I mean, what am I going to say? I'm going to say you'd probably be quite happy with current inflation rates, about $150,000 a year, something like that, or $250,000. Stuff like that, you know. I'm not saying you can't go multi-million or more, but you know, because of this connectivity in the weave, as long as you get to a point where you're very fulfilled doing what you do, and getting a good income, enough to live comfortably and happily, I mean, what more do you want? Because wealth, it has to be more than just piling up the gold up to here, the gold blocks, doesn't it? It's like, it's if you can be, you know, I don't, you know, I think the old adage of poor is fine, but yeah, you can be happy, but you're still going to be struggling, thinking, God, how am I going to pay these bills? Probably in debt. So, you know, you're going to want like about $150,000 a year, you know, $250,000, something like that, and go as far as you can go, you know, obviously. But you know, if you're fulfilled and you're not working mega hard, you know, you think, oh God, I've had enough of this. You might some of the time, but if mostly you're kind of, you know, pretty chilled and making good money and fulfilled, basically enjoying what you do, then you're going to be happy. But the secrets of it, and I'll go into this a lot more because honestly, one video doesn't do it. It's an ongoing thing. You know, really, I'm trying to sort of get this stuff in your minds with some repetition, you know, because you're just going to benefit from that. That's what worked for me. Loads of repetition coming to me. So in the end, I kind of knew it subconsciously, knew what to do. And, you know, that's really much better than a cookbook. Yeah, always watch out for cookbooks, you know, bullet points. 1, do this. 2, do that. No, because the world is so complex. It's a weave, it's a web work. And you really need to get your mindset so you can kind of flow with that web work and weave. And that is really the key. And we're going to get there. You're going to get there. But anyway, I'm going to carry on with my walk.